Rosanne Nicassio, my mom's cousin. Boy, are you going to talk about all the trouble you guys used to get into?
What I'm going to do is, you've heard a lot of the female perspective on Rosanne. I'm going to give you the male perspective.
They want to hear this one. My dad doesn't know it.
Growing up with Rosanne was a real treat. I mean, she was a few years older than I was, but every time you would go over to the house, we all remember Father Joe and all the parties you would have there. Rosanne would always be there, and she'd be the life of the party. And then I realized that you could have fun at a party, and you could do those kinds of things. And so, as we got older, about 14, Rosanne says, "Would you help me?" He said, "Marilyn and Pat are getting married, and I need somebody to serve champagne." I said, "Sure." So I walked around with trays of champagne, so I always had to toast Marilyn and Pat, and I had to drink champagne. And I'll never drink champagne again, because it was just terrible. So lo and behold, we get older, we get married, we kind of go our separate ways, and we come back, and we just live 2 doors away from each other. And I forgot one thing. When I dated my lovely wife, before I married her, I was having a good time, and all of a sudden this arm came up and pinched me on the inside of the arm, and I went, "Ah, what's that?" And she said, "She's a keeper. Don't," and then she told me, expletive, "don't mess this up." And she was right. 48 years later, she was still... So then we move, and we live next door to each other, and Rosanne comes down and, is playing with the kids and doing this and doing that. And I thought I was being funny because the girls were giggling and they were laughing and they were having a great time. I didn't realize that they had gotten into my Playboy magazine.
For the articles.
And they had never seen those before.
We read the articles on it. They were
like all you men.
They were really good.
And again, Rosanne looked at me and said, "Thanks, cousin, I appreciate that." And over the years, we got together and we watched our families grow, and we love everybody. But the beauty of Rosanne was, she was. There you go. God, I love being on stage. She was not only a cousin, she was a friend. And that friend is going to stay with us forever. And it's just a little matter of time before we're going to be with that friend again. And so she lives in us, and she has taught me so much, and I love her so much. Thank you.
Just sharing that I was Rosanne's flower girl. I was Rosanne's flower girl, and I was 5, and I was really active. And she said that I could be her flower girl if I didn't have bruises all over my legs, which I did at the time. So she goes, "You have 6 months." And I didn't do anything for 6 months. I mean, my brother would say, "Come on, no, I can't play." And I was her flower girl. So, and then I stayed with her a few times when you guys were the little daughters and taking care of them and all. So it was fun. I had just kind of like a big sister. So I really.
And I'm from Rosanne's Tuesday night yoga class in Long Beach. And I too had 3 beautiful daughters, and I had the privilege of going to class. I've been in her class for more than 20 years, since I was a young mother. And I'd go to class 30 minutes early. So I had the privilege of sharing many special moments with Rosanne and talked in depth with her about death as I was going through issues of my own with my dad. And the week before she transitioned on, she said to me, as so matter of fact, like, "Knock it off, Susan." Like, just in a kind way though. just like, stop it. Like, death is like birth. Like, why don't you get that? And I really heard what she had to say in that moment. I'm also known as being her most difficult student. I had the most muscular skeletal tension you've ever seen. No lie. When I first started her class 25 years ago or so, I taught. Like, through the whole class, I had no clue. And she would just look at me. And finally one day she said, Susan, like, shut up. Like, you're over-intellectualize everything. Just do it. And she always said to me, and I do believe it's true, that I made the most progress, physically and spiritually. Yes. And she was like a mother to me too. And I love her very much.
Interesting, the weather.
Okay, Mom, we hear you. She liked this. She likes this a lot. I hope you like this next thing too. Janice and Greg, stay close because I'm going to read a little something. And hopefully I'll get through it. If I don't, Mary's close by. I'm studying. I set out to write something. Just something poignant and deep and dear, and I couldn't get through it. I knew I would never be able to say it out loud. So I went back to write something a little more lighthearted, and it turned out like a Dr. Seuss story. For some reason. I have a 10-year-old son. I read a lot of Dr. Seuss, and sometimes I'll sit down at the end of the night after I put my son to bed and read to him. And I'm drinking a little wine, and what I write comes out like Dr. Seuss. But this time I wasn't drinking, so I'm not sure where this came from. But hopefully it will keep me from crying. It's called A Girl Named Rose. A girl named Rose flies free in the sky. She did not leave, she did not die. She's in a fine place, a place you can see if you look all around. She's fine, and she's free. She's rain, she's fire, in the trees, in the stars. She's the sun and the moon, and most likely even Mars. A wonderful life was thoroughly had for the green-eyed girl born near to here, eldest child of Frank and Anne, big bossy sister to little Mare. Eventually she would marry Jerry and be the proud mother of 5, living abroad, build a home, be the goddess of the hive. A mother, no doubt, she was meant to be. It wasn't long before the arrival of thing 1, 2, and 3. Not done yet, as Italian girls thrive, much to her delight, came thing 4 and thing 5. A Girl Scout leader, a yoga teacher, a friend to many and more. So profound, one's life is lived, leaving behind those who adore. The moon, you said, the moon when you see it will forever and always be a reflection of me. Though I see you now as the sun, I see you bright, a bright light shining on us, having joy, having fun. And it was always told and firmly believed something grand was outside of this place. When the time came for her journey to end, we'd stand strong, helping her get there with grace. So now it is time to let you free, let you be, let you fly, knowing that you live in all of our hearts, so you never, ever really die. Good night, Mama. Good day. See you later. Namaste. Okay, we have one more. A gentleman named Michael Day wrote something that he emailed and he wanted us to read. Michelle's going to do that now.
Michael Day was a chiropractor that my mom worked with, and he couldn't be here today, but he wanted to leave this inspirational message. Rosanne was an amazing encourager for me on my journey of becoming the chiropractor I am today. After every adjustment, she would give me an encouraging word and give me a big hug and tell me, "You're doing great." This was so vital for a young, insecure doctor to hear, that someone else saw the talent in you. I think this is what made her an amazing yoga practitioner as well. She never judged a student, but only spoke and encouraged them on their potential for healing. After she passed, I felt this overwhelming desire to live life completely free. This is what she would have asked for all of us after our time of mourning. She would have wanted us to wake up, do a yoga routine, and be completely in the present, taking in all the amazing moments we call life. To tell those around us how much we love and appreciate them. To encourage others, even if it may not seem that they need it. To give lots of hugs. Those are the lessons she taught me. And to Michael Day, I ditto that.
Obviously, she's saying you guys get back to the party, drink some wine, eat some food. Oh, guess not. My brother-in-law has one more thing to say.
Only because I am not a prepper. I don't claim to be a glorious wordsmith. I improv a lot of stuff I do. 25 years ago, I came into this family. For those of you who don't know me, I'm not one of her cherished yoga students. I'm the son-in-law. I was son-in-law number 1. So, John Jay, you got some shoes to fill. He's number 2. There he is. Of course, he's got bigger shoes. And the first time I met Rosanne, it was not just Rosanne, it was also Anne and Rosanne. And you could tell they were sizing me up. Especially Anne. And I came to terms with Rosanne by winning Anne over. I guess she figured I was okay at that point. Because it was good then. 3 years after getting into the family in 1992, I married her oldest daughter, Tina. Life has been absolutely wonderful since then. I've been blessed with a wonderful second family for the last 25 years. I've got great sisters-in-law, a brother-in-law, friends, and other family members. And I consider the yoga students that she always talked about part of the family as well. She helped me with words of encouragement when my mother passed away. She was good like that. And shortly after my mother passed away, we moved back to California from Minnesota, where Tina troopered through 10 treacherous Minnesota winters. And I guess she thought she'd had enough of that. So we moved back to Southern California, and you could see the elation in Rosanne's eyes when she would come to visit us, because she didn't have to get on several planes to come visit. And it was nice. It was nice going to Long Beach to have dinner with her, visit her little homestead, things like that. And it was always nice opening up my email and seeing little blurbs of inspiration from her. And I got those a couple times a week. And they were special. They were nice. So, a couple of the fond memories I have of Rosanne is, as we were planning our wedding, Rosanne and I had lunch down at what's the place over by El Paso Cantina? The little restaurant there?
Lambs.
No, there's a little coffee shop there by the Volz.
Hoff's Hut.
Hoff's Hut.
Not there anymore. It's gone.
Yes. The only way we had to get there was on my motorcycle. I will never forget Roseanne and a helmet on the back of my motorcycle, hanging on for dear life as we screamed through Belmont Shore. And the faster I went, the more she squeezed. So I'll remember that. And I'd like to think that in the past few years that she grew as a person, because she also became somewhat of a beer connoisseur. When she came up to me a year or so ago after spending some time with Michelle at a place called The Brewery in Placentia, where she came up to me and said, you know, I like sour beers.
You do not get credit for that. That's all me.
And
you're missing that story.
oh, well, that's what she told.
It started in Portland.
She told it to me that way.
Okay.
So she was always kind with words, and I'm going to miss her a lot. Cheers, Roseanne.
All right, last chance, last call. I think that wind is my mom's equivalent of when the Oscars start playing the music and the chorus starts. It's going, okay, we're done. We're gonna conclude this. Sorry, what?
Oh, can I read?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Todd Eric Andrews. Please.
And I was reading this, and I wanted to read this and share this with everybody in case you didn't read it, because I think it's pretty amazing. And it says, "Death is nothing at all. I have only slipped away into the next room. I am I, and you are you. Whatever we are to each other, that we still are. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak to me in the easy way you always used. Put no difference in your tone, wear no forced air of solemnity or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes we enjoyed together. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without effect, without the trace of a shadow on it. Life means all that it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is unbroken continuity. Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? I am waiting for you, for an interval, somewhere very near, just around the corner. All is well." And so I'd like to raise a toast to Roseanne, that rocket woman in her own right, who has taught us many lessons today and always to let it be, to just show up, to laugh, to breathe. And somehow I imagine her when we're all in our own time knocking on heaven's door, that she will be there smiling and wondering what the hell took us so long. Cheers.
Thank you, Todd, for reading that. I want you all to know that Roseanne actually picked that verse. When I was going through her desk recently, I came across that verse on a little card that she had saved and set it aside in a pile on her desk. And so I think that she had gathered up some things like that when she was dealing with her own mother's passing 2 years ago, but that was on the top of the pile, and that to me just felt like her. So that was her choice. Thank you for bringing that to life. And also, I want to thank Patty, who did a wonderful job at putting together this beautiful brochure for Roseanne.
Don't forget to find us, hunt us down, and get one of these bookmarks that we made for my mother. All right, we are finally going to wrap this up, and we thought it would be fitting to end with 3 ohms. And most of you know what that is, and for those of you who don't, no worries. We'll just follow along. Greg and Janice are going to be leading us in this, and a few other yogis. Fantastic. Everyone come around, get as close as you'd like.
And I'd like to say, in Roseanne's honor, we will all be doing 6 sets of sun salutations.
Where's Wayne? Where's Wayne? Wait.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Baby.